मैं सगळ्यांनी थोडी थोडी काढून
मुश्किल में है जीना, दिल ये तूने छीना, बोलते पागल देखो।
I would request all the participants to keep their mics off. And there is some participant who's singing and I would
तो सोनी का पार्ट है यार।
I would request Dr. Devanshu Srivastava sir to kindly remove those participants who are not able to mute themselves.
Sharma sir.
We request all the participants to please be muted until it's not required to unmute.
Participants to please rename themselves to their own name.
And even Devanshu sir, I would request you to kindly remove those participants who could not keep themselves muted because it creates a lot of issues with the resource person.
Input in Delhi, Brandon means Barrington.
So are we good to go? Devanshu sir, are we good to go?
We can wait for a few minutes, Gaurav sir. Yes, ma'am.
Has Gurudat sir joined? I request all the participants to be kindly muted. Sir, has the resource person joined the meeting? Because today I'm dealing with the technical.
Gaurav sir, just wait for 5 minutes. Sir is joining only.
Okay.
Good afternoon to everybody. We will be starting with the session in next 5 minutes. The moderator for today's session is Ms. Soumya Khare ma'am from Faculty of Law, Jagran Lake City University. We welcome you, ma'am. I've just spoken to the resource person. He's joining in couple of minutes. He was facing some technical difficulty, but he'll join in next couple of minutes. I request all the participants to please keep their mics muted till the time you are not asked to unmute yourself and address the meeting. Soumya ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're clearly audible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. I request ma'am to Dr. Sujit Kaur ma'am, please re-log in yourself if you're facing any technical difficulty regarding the audio, the audible volumes. Hello. Hello. There is a heavy rainfall in Chennai, and sir would take 5 more minutes to join. I request everybody to be patiently wait in the room itself, as the resource person for our today's session, Professor Dr. C.A. Gurudat sir, would be joining shortly.
Sir, even I would request you, like in case from my technical end, if there is any issues, we might make you the host of the meeting, because here we are also facing heavy rainfalls.
Same here, Gaurav sir, I guess, but not to worry.
Hmm.
You can make
I-
me the
I'll
host.
I'll 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 try to make any one of the organizing committee member the
Yeah, that would
host
be really fine. You can make
before,
me the host,
if in
Gaurav sir,
case.
no worries. And I would request that parallelly we can make the organizing committee people as co-host. So if
We
in
have already
case,
made the
yeah,
co-host to be one, all the members of the
thank you so much,
organizing
Gaurav
committee.
sir. I guess we can utilize this time for some small interactions with the participants by the time we are getting our resource person joined. So any of the participants who wish to introduce themselves to this gathering can raise their hand. We'll unmute and you can address yourself with the greetings there. You can see Gangadhar sir there. Gangadhar sir, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the gathering? Gangadhar sir. So please unmute yourself and kindly introduce yourself to this gathering. Dr. Ranju.
Yes, Ranju ma'am, you can continue.
Dr. Ranju ma'am, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Anju Best from Government PG College, Gopeshwar Chamoli, Uttarakhand. My department is Department of Home Science, and my specialization is in nutrition, food and nutrition. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Rajesh Maurya.
Please raise your hands before unmuting.
Hello. Hello, myself Dr. Ganga from Sri Pakola Jaramallikira from Department of Microbiology, Kerala.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I am Ridula Sharma. I am from Assam. I am Faculty of Law, Tezpur Law College, Tezpur, Assam. I am from Assam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Balchand Negi, sir.
Sir, Dr. Bhalchand Negi, Government PG College, Gopishwar, from Uttarakhand.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Dr. Sukumar Pal, sir.
Yes, Dr. Sukumar Pal. I'm working in Vishwavarati, a central university founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, and I am teaching in the Department of Social Work. So my area of specialization is marginalized community group work, and definitely I do teach disaster management. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Poonam, ma'am, please go ahead.
I'm Dr. Poonam from SRM University, Delhi NCR, Kolkata. I'm professor in Department of Commerce, and I have 8 years of teaching experience in my career. Thank you so much for the wonderful session because literally the session was really very informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I request Navkishore, sir? Welcome, Navkishore Singh, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm Navkishore Singh from Manipur. I teach English in Kaksin Kuno College, and my specialization is error analysis. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Priya Shukla, ma'am. Ravindra Sahu, sir.
Hello.
Yes, Priya, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I think I'm visible and audible also. I hope.
You're audible.
Okay. So, myself, Dr. Priya Shukla. I completed all my higher education from University Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan. Currently, I am working in MIT University, Kolkata as assistant professor in Department of Education. I am teaching B.Ed students right now. Thank you.
Welcome,
That is all.
Thank you. Dr. Vasavi, ma'am. Bholanath Mandal, sir.
Sir, has Gurudat sir joined the meeting? Devanshu, sir?
Not yet, Gaurav, sir. We'll take
Okay,
a
sir.
couple of minutes.
Let me know once he joins the meeting so that my backend office can just make him the co-host.
Sure. Sapna Kumari ma'am.
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Sapna from Postgraduate Department of Chemistry, St. Agnes College, Mangalore, Karnataka.
Welcome, ma'am. Vasavi ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. 1 second.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. So myself, Vasavi, I am from Bangalore, Karnataka. So I am an assistant professor in law. I'm teaching in BMS College of Law. So my specialization was in constitution and administrative law. And thank you for organizing this refresher course. So this is my first refresher course. So the first 2 days were very interactive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Rupa ma'am.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Rupa Belurkar, working at Parvati Bai Chogle College, Margao, that is Goa. Okay, my specialization is inorganic chemistry, and I'm very happy that you have had one online course which is really innovative and as well as informative also. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Jigmat sir.
Hello, Devanshu sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Jigmet Dechen, and I'm working in University of Ladakh, Leh, as assistant professor in physical education and sports science. And my specialization is sports psychology. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Welcome, sir. Shruti ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Am
afternoon.
I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
I'm Dr. Shruti Nadkarni from K.R. College of Law, Margao, Goa. It is a very nice experience. This is my second refresher course with Droid Pinali Group, and it is. I know it is very enriching experience whenever you have any course with them, and I'm looking forward to a very nice and enriching experience this time too. Thank you.
ठीक है.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ravindra Sahu, sir.
Sir, has Gurudat sir joined?
Gaurav sir, I'll let you know. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Any more participants?
नमस्कार सर, मैं
नमस्ते.
डॉक्टर राघवेंद्र कुमार साहू गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज सिमरिया रीवा मध्य प्रदेश से हूँ। सहायक प्राध्यापक हिंदी के रूप में कार्य कर रहा हूँ। यह मेरा तीसरा रिफ्रेशर कोर्स है और आपके जो रिसोर्स पर्सन हैं सभी अभी 3 दिन का अनुभव इतना बढ़िया है कि एक से बढ़कर सभी एक हैं। आशा करते हैं कि आगे भी इसी तरह हमें जानने समझने का मौका मिलेगा। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you so much, sir. Jury Goswami, ma'am.
Yes, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Dr. Jury Goswami, Assistant Professor, JB Law College, Guwahati, Assam. My specialization is International Environmental Law. This is my first refresher course with Droid Penale Group, and the last 2 days was very much interactive. So it's a very nice experience with this group. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Pandurangan Naik, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Myself, I'm Pandurang Naik. I'm serving as the College Director of Physical Education and Sports at Dempo Charity Trust, Dempe College of Arts and Science, Miramar, Panji, Goa. And I have been listening, I've attended many FDPs organized by GAT, and it was my pleasure to always listen to Dr. Professor Bakshi and Sir Ved Prakash, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mithili, ma'am.
Good evening, all of you. This was the good session.
Last 2 days I was exploring many things, many topics are covered, very interesting. Good organization, and also the who are the resource person are different from the different field, very motivated to know many things, many field we are exploring. Actually, I am from maths, statistics and IT. So different field I am able to explore. Thanks for the organization and also resource persons. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Akhilesh Kumar, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's Dr. Akhilesh Kumar from Career College of Management. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Devanshu Srivastava for organizing such a wonderful 15 days refresher course. And it is my first refresher course, and definitely I will benefit by it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh, sir. It's all the team effort of the entire Droid Penale Group and Faculty of Law, and the all support rendered by GAD TLC to all of us. Thank you so much, sir. We welcome you. Next, we have Sharmik Kharat, sir.
Yes, very good afternoon. I'm Professor Shamik Kharat, working as head of the department History, Bhavans College, Andheri, Mumbai. And since last 3 days, I'm attending all the sessions, and I think that these sessions are interactive and we are learning very blindly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Professor Shivangi, working at Department of Economics at Royal College, situated in Mumbai.
We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you. Shri Vidya, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm Dr. Srividya Nair from NSS Training College, Ottapalam, Palakkad District, Kerala.
Welcome you, ma'am. Thank you. Shyam, sir. You're mute.
Yes. Myself is Ibate Shyam Nagaya from Dayanand Science College, Latur, Maharashtra.
Welcome, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Anu, ma'am. Dr. Radha Rani, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Radha, and I'm working as assistant professor in SRM University, Delhi NCR Sonipat, which is in the state of Haryana. And I'm in the Department of Commerce. That's it. But I want to ask one question, ma'am. May
Yes,
I?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, when we received the brochure, then it was saying that the timing is from 4 p.m. to 7:30. Time has been changed or what?
Ma'am, I'll just clear your doubts. Actually, because of some constraint, we have to reschedule the timing given in the brochure. So because it is a flexible mode program, so if you have any issues in attending these sessions, live sessions, you can directly approach to the YouTube links, and you can also view the videos through our LMS, which we are using, My eClass. Okay, ma'am.
So that I know, but live session is a different thing. No
Also,
problem
ma'am,
in that.
Radha ma'am, this brochure also mentions for one lecture for that many times. So as Gaurav sir was mentioning, so that's the thing. I guess we are joined by our speaker. So if we can take the introduction and the other doubts on the group as well.
Can you just let me know by the name?
Dean Law.
Dean Law.
Gaurav sir, I'm rejoining, sir. Gaurav sir is there. Dean Law.
I have made him the co-host. Soumya ma'am, you can proceed with the session.
1 second, we'll just quickly check an audio and a video with sir, and then we can start. Good afternoon, Gurudat sir. Am I audible to you?
Sir, can you hear me?
Sir, very good afternoon. We can hear you and we can see you as well. Welcome,
Now I am
sir.
relieved. I'm extremely sorry. I made all
No, sir,
esteemed
actually, we all are
academicians to
facing
wait
the
for
similar
more
weather
than
conditions.
20 minutes.
So we all are facing the similar conditions of weather across the country. So heavy rains and everything, we all understand that, sir. So
Oh, yeah.
welcome, sir. And without any much ado,
Please.
I would request Soumya Khare ma'am, Assistant Professor at the School of Law, Jagran Lake City University. She's the moderator of our session today, to please take over the session.
Thank you so much, Devanshu sir. Good afternoon, everybody. I am here again to welcome you all to the 4th day of the 15-day online refresher course on new age teaching methods and skills in higher education, which is organized by Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, and Droid Pinal Group, Prayagraj. The topic for today's session is adoption of 4 E's for outcome-based education, an empirical approach. And the resource person for today is Professor Dr. C.A. Gurudat, who is a senior academician having a distinct experience spread for more than 3.5 decades, which includes teaching, research, and administration. He has to his credit MA in political science, MBA, LLM, and PhD law from prestigious universities. His area of specialization includes constitutional law, family law, law and social transformation, environmental law, media law, and many more. He has held positions like Principal of Law College, Chairman of Examination Board, Academic Advisor, Dean and Director, Vice Chancellor, Presidents, etc. He is Founder Dean of the School of Law, Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, and also the founder of the Global Academy of Management Education and Services, Bangalore. Dr. Gurudat's research experience includes guiding scholars for PhD program, execution of funded projects, publication of research articles and books, participation in national and international seminars, conferences, and workshops in different capacities. He is adept in organizing national and international academic events, and he is also a member of several policy-making bodies and advisory boards of different institutions and universities. He has served many high-profile institutions as visiting and guest professor. Moreover, he is profoundly loved and respected by his students and colleagues for his contribution as a teacher and leader with impeccable character and expertise. He is the Honorable Vice President of International Society for Promotion of Agricultural and Food Products Exports, Bangalore. And at present, he is the Dean, Faculty of Law, SRMIST, deemed to be University, Chennai. So we are so delighted to have you here with us today. And I hand over this platform for you to address the gathering.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you very much for such elaborate kind of thing. Anyway, thank you very much. Shall I share the screen? Or can you share the screen?
Sir, I can share the screen.
Please.
Yes, sir. Just give me a moment.
Sir, I'll request you to stop sharing so that Soumya ma'am can start sharing the screen.
Shall I stop sharing?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, how is that? Share is there? How is there? Stop sharing. I don't. I'm not that
Sir,
good.
it's done now. So it's done.
It's done.
It's done?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, it is.
Just give me a second.
Purva.
Good afternoon, sir.
Namaste, ma. Very happy to see you here at least.
Same
Yeah.
here, sir.
Yeah. Started the.
1 second, sir.
Just a second. Just opening the PPT.
So you may please start at your address by the time Soumya ma'am would start playing the PPT.
Yes, dear friends. Whatever I am going to share with you, it is my little understanding of legal education, higher education in general and legal education in particular, a special reference to Indian context and in Indian perspective. Of course, the God-given opportunity, I could be able to see 4 major shifts in the legal education in my career. And on the basis of that, with that experience, I can imagine how legal education would be by 2035. Next, whatever I share with you, it is exclusively on the basis of my experience and not necessarily be universal, not necessarily be accepted by each and everyone. As Kalidasa keeps telling, Puranamityeva nasadu sarvam. It tells whatever is being told in the book, whatever is being told by the elders, not necessarily be the truth, not necessarily be the truth. Then it is a fool who simply follows them, but the wiser one always examines that and he accepts if it is a truth and he will reject if it is not a truth. Keeping that in mind, you do have open, right, rather option whether to accept with my views or reject. Anyway, my dear friends, I think this is not the first one. Please, number one, not necessary. Number 2, yes, previous one. This one is clear. Yeah. Dear friends, whom we are addressing as on today, as the teachers, as institutions, a lot before us is Generation Z. Generation Z here means the generation who have taken birth after 1995. Say somewhere in 1995 onwards who have taken their birth, they are around 20, 22, 23, whatever it is. Either they are pursuing a 5-year law course or 3-year law course LLM. It is that generation. That is our target group. And we are going to chisel them out as leaders in the field of law. And this Z generation we call, they have got wide exposure, at least opportunity to have wide exposure. Unlike the thing what we had. Wide exposure, whether it is in terms of technology-oriented knowledge or visual kind of thing, they can travel. I think you see, just 3 days before, it was a very casual type of inquiry with my students in one class consisting of 60 students. Around 35 students they have traveled abroad. See, more than 50% of the lot, they have got foreign experience. Here, that experience, I call that as exposure. They do have exposure. Then they are technically sound. Many times I take assistance of that generation. My students do come and help me. For kind information, I tell you, I give the text. It is one of my students who typed the whole thing and prepared the PPT for me. And I acknowledge this. Then they are highly tensed because they are facing stiff competition. Yes. Competition between institutions, competition in between students. I am speaking of a serious students who have taken up this as their career. And peculiar thing, highly ambitious. Highly ambitious. I go back to 1978, 79, when I completed my LLB. We were in final year. For the first time, our teacher, they trained us to go for one mock trial, not mock trial. There, to preside over that, one sitting district judge had come. In the open session, he asked one question. Please tell me, how many of you would like to become lawyers? Some 4 or 5 hands raised. Okay. How many of you would like to become judges? Only some 2 or 3. How many of you would like to become, again, back to your farmland and farmers? 1 or 2. Like that, he was asking the questions, but response was very, very poor. Then he made the comment. So you are all doing your degree. By another 6 months, you are going to take your law degree, but you are not sure whether you become an advocate or not. What that you are going to be? Mean to say, totally not focused, totally confused lot. That was the time. If I ask the same question in my class, students are very, very clear. They tell, sir, I want to become a lawyer. Even he will say, I become a corporate lawyer. I will become an IT lawyer. I will become an activist. I will become this. I will become teacher. I pursue higher education. Sir, I would like to have research. And another one will tell, sir, I take a judicial examination. I will become a judge. Like that. And they are highly ambitious. To be ambitious is not wrong, but sometimes even without preparation, simply say, sir, this and that. Anyway, let us take that in a positive way, and we can say they are focused and ambitious. When you go for these kind of things, we take, the general group. Exceptions are always there, some 10-15%. Leave them, remaining. Then they have been bestowed with opportunities. How many opportunities are there? Just 10 years before, these opportunities were not there. Yesterday, I was going through, I opened a website. How many moot courts are going to be held in the next month, and other competitions. I could be able to find at least some 3 dozen different kind of programs being scheduled by different law schools, including private law colleges, moot court competitions, arbitration, then client counseling. How many kind of things? Oh, lot of opportunities they do have. In addition to it, opportunities in terms of internship, that is notable. Then they do have easy access to information, any information. I believe almost all institutions, at least they go for Manupatra or LexisNexis or some kind of thing. They do have access to information. Even if it is not there, they Google it today. We call it Google. Google means Google stands for Guru, Google Guru. It gives all information. And sometimes the students will be of the opinion that the teacher is not required at all. This Google can help us. It's not correct. That is a different issue. No, so they do have access to the information. Next slide, please. Next one, please. So this is how the legal education is going. Then next one, dear friends, as on today, we do have 1,721 law colleges. It is inclusive of all, private law schools, conventional universities, national law schools, international schools, this and that. The data says as on today, we do have 1,721 law colleges affiliated to Bar Council of India. And this Bar Council of India has, it is at the helm of the task. It is governing, guiding, whatnot, doing everything so far as legal education is concerned. In addition to it, UGC also plays a very big role. And fortunately, unfortunately, I do not know, we do have very rigid format. You just look at the structure of the courses, whether it's 5-year course or 3-year course, they're very rigid. Just last week, I believe, so the Bar Council of India assured the Supreme Court that they are going to relax the age limit. For 3-year course, 45 years, and for 5-year course, 22 years, and a 3-year course of 45 years. And in once Supreme Court made an observation that why to have this age limitation kind of thing? Why this restriction? Mean to say, we would like to be very, very open that Bar Council of India is very rigid, very rigid. So far as course structure is concerned, years, semester scheme, and evaluation process, moot court practices, and clinical papers, core papers, honors papers, for everything very, very rigid. And the data says around 1 lakh new graduates, law graduates turn out annually. Just you can imagine the competition. How much competition is there? 1 lakh per annum. Of course, there is another theory. Even 1 lakh lawyers do come. If you look at the population versus the lawyers, the ratio is huge gap, unlike the forward countries. Next slide, please. Then, objectives of legal education. Yes, dear friends, impart the legal education in a formal method. In a formal method, not informal method. Formal method, again, classroom, teach them, give them assignments, ask them to visit the chambers, all kind of things, formal and with regulations. Then another objective is to prepare law graduates competent enough to take the law profession, legal profession, as lawyers or legal professionals. This is another objective. Then to develop the skills, how actually they can interpret law, at least how they can read a bare act. Okay, fine. And to inculcate the skills, of course, when we speak of skills, anyone in a title, title of this refresher course, you have used the word skills. Of course, I do have my own reservations as far as the skills are concerned. There are two theories. One, skill can be inculcated. Another theory says skill is always a born value. You cannot. You can sharpen the skill, but you cannot inculcate the skill. These theories are there. Let us not get into that argument. However, we would like to inculcate some skills, typical skills required to a lawyer. That is to interpret law effectively in a given situation. Okay, then he should be the lawyer, the law graduate, to be able to use the modern technology in his profession appropriately. Next one, please. Right away, go to outcome-based education. For short, we call it OB. OB, actually, this was a moment. This moment started in Australia and other countries in the 1990s. Okay. Then they went for one accord by name, Washington Accord, 1989. Basically, it was started for engineering and technological institutions. You must have heard of NBA, National Board of Accreditation. They introduced that. Why? They say, set the goals. Any course you take, set the goal and measure the outcome. It should be measurable. Any outcome should be measurable. And the peculiar kind of thing is no specific or single style of teaching there. I mean, they want to liberalize the whole kind of thing, like Aristotelian model or whatever it is. Then outcome in terms of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Of course, as on today, NEP, National Education Policy India, it intends to adopt this NEP in higher education across the streams, not just limited to engineering and technology. All are at it. Of course, you know it very well. I need not explain it. I need not get into that argument. BCI has got its own reservations so far as the adoption of new educational policy. Since it is a totally professional course, we do have our own way of doing the things, and ours is also outcome-based education only. Outcome-based education only. This is totally measurable. Next slide, please. That's one misconception. What is that? Outcome-based means placement. Once they complete the degree, how many of them get placement? and next generation of more number of graduates, and having highest rate of success in terms of pass percentage. I tell you, my learned colleagues here for around 100, you may be aware of this NIRF, NIRF, and other ranking agencies. They do have one criteria. In that criteria, they measure the outcome on the basis of these. These are the parameters. How for the past 3 years, or past 2 years, or 5 years, how many placements are being done? And what is the highest package? What is the average package? Then graduation outcome, what is the pass percentage, subject-wise or general? Okay, these kind of things they ask. If we give some data, yes, replacements are, 50% of the students got placed, and our result is 90%. You get highest points there, and in the NIRF, you will stand number 2 or number 3 or whatever it is. Of course, we do have our own reservation so far as this aspect is concerned. In law profession, the outcome should be something distinct and unique. Of course, I don't dispute that placement, is not a criteria. Placement can be one of the sub-criteria. It cannot be major. It is a misconception. If you take the total generation, total population, what we call law graduates, how many of them actually opt placement? I give you my own experience. When I started introducing placement kind of thing, I made a survey. I asked the students, how many of you want placement? Some 5 students said, sir, we want placement. Okay. Then I asked others, why you do not want placement? One says, sir, why should I go for placement, sir? He will offer some 2 or 2.5 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees. Okay, even if it is 5 lakh rupees, at an average, it will come to 40 to 50,000 rupees. Then what happens? I am working as a law officer for a company. I have to take all files and approach an advocate and brief him. Then lawyer will do everything. At the end of the month, he will send one request for a check of 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees for having appeared for the case. If I do have patience, why should I not appear before the court for the case? Why shall I become a just clerk? No, it was actually he expressed like that. Students are very, very focused nowadays. Hard reality, few percentage, a segment of the students, they go for placements also. Yes. But my sincere appeal to everyone is, don't measure the outcome only in terms of placement and passing percentage. That is good. That will lead us to some other corner. It's not correct. Next slide, please. Friends, LE stands for legal education. Overall. See, I am enlisting them not on abstract basis. It is on the basis of my continuous uninterrupted interaction with my friends who are working elsewhere, in different countries. And I keep visiting different conferences, meetings, where we share how the legal education is going on in their respective countries and their respective schools. Of course, next month, 26th to 29th, there is a Dean's Conference and annual meeting of IALS, International Association of Law Schools. I believe there may be a representation from Jharkhand Lake City University also, because I subscribed that membership in 2015 itself. If it is still there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are also representing there, sir.
You are representing? Good. Yes. If you are representing, that is excellent. There, they go for separate sessions on this. When we go for the separate sessions on this, actually, what is your target? First question they ask, okay, you are from South African countries. What is that your objective? How you are going to measure that? There, see, universally accepted thing is any graduate, law graduate shall be knowledgeable. Means we should prepare him thoroughly on a substantive law, procedural laws. Then he should be competent enough. It speaks of not just knowledge, it speaks of personality also, which is inclusive of competencies, inclusive of skills, different kind of skills like communication skills or technological kind of things. All these things should they come. Then should be very, very confident. I have seen, of course, one of my friends, of course, my classmate only, very skillful person, highly knowledgeable. But the moment he stands before the judge, he forgets everything. He cannot communicate at all. For the past 40 years, my dear friends, you may believe it or not, his job is he writes plaints, written statement, everything, he prepares argument, everything for other lawyers, and he takes some fee, and other lawyers make huge money using his writings. Why? He doesn't have that confidence, and he doesn't have the communicative skill, communication skills. He can write well, but he cannot speak well. That is the problem. Now, we expect our students to be technically sound also. Of course, now this artificial intelligence and other kind of things, they are making huge sound. Huge sound. Devamshu may remember it. In 2015, we had one session on artificial intelligence vis-a-vis legal profession. I do not remember exactly from which country that gentleman came. He's from some European country, I believe. He delivered one lecture on use of artificial intelligence when 7 years before. In 7 years, a lot of water has flown under the bridge. Every day development is going on. One senior advocate, designated senior advocate, he was addressing one faculty development program on use of technology in a legal profession. He was telling that, friends, a day may come where a judge simply gives some keywords and the computer itself using artificial intelligence that will prepare the judgment. The judgment will come out as copy. The robot may give a judgment. I am afraid of this. There was sharing like that. Of course, it has got positive as well as a negative impact. Let us not enter into that area because that is not the field where what I have chosen here, use of artificial intelligence. But they should know how the things are moving on. Here, everything, whatever we are expecting from the student, please look at it from other perspective. This is the duty of the institution to make them so. If we expect one student to be very, very skillful, we should make them skillful. Communicative, we should make him communicative. Knowledgeable, yes. It is like Hofferdian thesis of rights and duties. Yeah, the student has got right to be like this, right to be like this. On the other hand, all institutions do have a duty. They owe the duty to this Z generation. Z generation. They should make them like this. And then the last 3 points are very, very, very dear to my heart. Proactive. Empathetic towards the social causes. Fit into their field of choice. Dear friends, I think it must be 20 to 25 days from now. I think you may tap your memory button. Supreme Court exonerated a person who languished in jail for about 20 years. Because the circumstantial evidence was so strong from Sessions Court to Supreme Court. Yeah, Sessions Court convicted him, all higher courts. So no, they simply go on confirming it. When it became to the larger bench, they reviewed the whole thing. They said they repented a lot for having made the gentleman to be there in the jail for 20 years. But what to do? the entire court relied upon the evidence supplied by the police and prosecution. That is one point, leave it. The point what touched me is the lawyer who worked for that person, that victim for 20 years, he has not taken even a rupee. His only mission was to ensure this person has become a victim of circumstances. I should ensure that he is out. Of course, that man lost his youth, everything, that is different story. That is another big area for our discussion or debate or conference, intellectual conference. My point here is proactive, empathetic towards the social causes. Empathetic towards the social causes. Yes, had that MC Mehta not having that aptitude or empathy towards the social causes, would be there that big philosophy and jurisprudence of environmental law in India? Few of you may agree with me or not, but I am of a very confident view that it is MC Mehta who contributed immensely towards the development of environmental jurisprudence. Why it happened? It happened because of his proactiveness, because of its empathy towards the social cause. This is a very, very important aspect. Of course, my call is not to make every advocate to be a sannyasi or to do the things for charity. No, 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 no. That is not the thing. It is a profession, maintain the professional dignity, make money, make name, everything. But simultaneously, please understand that to be a lawyer is not a license just to make money, name. It is a license given to serve the society. It's a license given to you. You say, hello, Mr. Gentleman, now I am giving the license. Now you are a licensed counselor. You can help this society. You can do it. That is why we have given this garb. We have given this sanad. We have given you everything. Next slide, please. Now, let us get into the area where actually we are in. Teaching methods. Look at the title of your refresher course. New teaching methods. Which one is new teaching method, sir? Which one is old teaching method? Can you substitute one thing to another? My dear friends, I tell you, few teaching techniques and methods are unique, universal, and everlasting, immortal. For the remaining 14 days or 15 days or whatever it is, the different experts, resource persons do come and they address you on different teaching methods. But please keep two things in your mind. Here, Mr. Devanshu or his team, they are not using any robot. It is human beings who are coming there and delivering the lectures. It is the human brain what is participating there. And they go for a kind of parakaya pravesham. You say, you just get into your brain, get into your heart, and they start speaking. This is there since a long time, immemorial. We call it Aristotelian model or whatever it is. We start questioning. Of course, if time permits, we go for a session. 1 or 2 questions may be there. Don't you question it? Sir, why this? Sir, how this? Sir, when it happened? Sir, I don't agree with you. These two things come. We call it Aristotelian model. Can you substitute it? Sir, because of this pandemic, we developed a lot of softwares. We spent lakhs of rupees. Institutions spent lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees on new software for examination, proctored examination, this, that, lot kind of things. Yes, we also grew. Technology also is growing. Yesterday also, I signed for one document. They are telling, from admission till loss, they monitor everything on their own. Human interference very minimum. I told them, you are doing it well. This is good. Let us sail with the ship. That is different aspect. But on the other hand, personally, I don't accept this. Fine. No method is a standard and universal. Reason is this, sir. It changes person to person, institution to institution, place to place, country to country. Have a close look. Of course, some theory says there can be identical two persons, I think out of 1 lakh, 1 lakh or some 10,000, I forgot that. Mean to say very rare. You cannot have two identical persons, identically looking. Because each one is different. Yes, they are men, they are women. True, gender, true, but they are not identical. Each person is unique. Each person is strong on a particular thing. A particular faculty is very strong in that gentleman or that lady. We cannot universalize it at all. Then institutional culture. Institutional culture. Look, different law schools have different cultures. Here, actually, what we say, this culture is a dependent factor of their objective. The broad objective, okay, we sell, because the new education policy says that outcome based this and that. In addition to it, institutions will be having their own objectives, their own program objectives, course objectives. For example, I believe all friends, who are participating here, they are representing different kind of institutions, maybe from affiliated colleges, government colleges, conventional universities, private universities, deemed to be universities, etc., etc. Each one has got its own objective. Yes, there is a school. They say, whatever product we bring, it's international only. That is our objective. Another school says, my emphasis is totally towards the placement. I'm least bothered about litigation. Another one says, no. Ours is only for litigation, sir. And the class who come to my school, they're all middle class and kind of thing. Fine. Okay, next. But one thing. Can you find one law school or one teacher who will teach law without case law? It's impossible. I would like to explain something regarding this. I just open Harvard Law School, their website. We go for their teaching, pedagogy, and kind of things. They are offering for about 500 courses. Please believe. That is why we call that Harvard. 500 courses. Students do have some option. Ultimately, they examine them in their own style and give them degree license to practice. Okay, fine. There the emphasis of our approach is case law approach, this and that. Then it's a surprise for me. We are unique, we are doing case law approach. Appa, tell me, which law school doesn't teach case law? Our entire approach is a juridical one. We develop our argument, we develop our theory, we develop the entire delivery only on case laws. But delivery of case law, there is a difference. There is difference. Of course, I teach law in my own fashion. I take a case law in my own fashion. I have seen teachers, I have friends. They never get into the facts of the case. Directly, they go to the ratio, they go to some observation, this and that, they say. When I teach, how I teach? I teach any case law. First, I tell them the facts in brief. Many times when you look at the ratio of the case, the ultimate judgment of final judgment of the case and the fact, there is no relationship at all, apparently. That I show them, look, the fact, this is the effect, this is the judgment. Because of this judgment, how society is benefited. Because of this judgment, how the parties have suffered or benefited. In Keshavananda Bharati lost the case. Big loss to Keshavananda, but very big benefit to the citizens of India. It is a big win to the constitution. There I explain, look, we say it is 13 judge bench, but do you know for the actual structure, 6:7. It is just one judge who made the difference. He tilted the balance, and that became the majority judgment, and that is a judgment binding. What about the sanctity of minority? Like that, I teach any case law. This is my approach. Secondly, when I go for teaching the same case, normally for assignments, I give case laws only. I ask them to read the original judgment. At least they should bring some sentence, let them write verbatim. But my rule is they should not quote that sentence which has already been quoted in any textbook. This is how I make them to study the case. Next, whenever we go for case law, if time permits, what I do, if I take one case on equality, I go to Genesis. It's like a storytelling. I start telling the story. I don't tell the name, the parties to the case, which court, this and that. Simply, you take Dred Scott case. The first case on equality. Our tears rolled down. It is an apartheid, slavery. The court accepted slavery. Dred Scott was a Stanford case. First, I give the fact, how it happens, how the people suffered, how the court could not come out of that. Then the next development, Plessy versus Ferguson, then Brown versus Board of Education. 3 phases. How it happened. Afterwards, I tell them, look, this case happened in America. This case happened, because of the conflict between white and black. Look how they could be able to achieve. See, they had to take nearly 200 years to bring that substantial equality. Then I take our cases here. How we could be able to bring equality. How many years? We got our written constitution adopted in the year 1950. From them, just to go for a survey of the cases. We did not find such kind of situation at all in India. We could be able to have the substantial equality. And courts, they have been upholding the substantial equality. Right from day one. Of course, here and there are aberrations. Leave them. That also we will tell them. So like that, sometimes I use, if it is the blackboard, I use what is that called? Chalk. Or else if it's PPT, fine. I go for a graph. How it went up, how it came down. How it went up, how it came down. Same, the recent case, where Supreme Court, consisting of Catholic judges, would able to bring back the draconian law, not allowing up. You all law teachers, even students, they are well aware of it. Highly debated issue all over the world. Go for a graph. You tell how they achieved. They went up. Again, how they are coming down. If we teach them, we will achieve a lot kind of things. And sometimes, when I teach, I bring other kind of things. Equality, look, obscenity versus literature. If a teacher has got wide reading, for example, Lady Chatterley Lover, I think D.H. Lawrence, very big case. If the teacher has read that book, in fact, I tell you, I share my experience. When I did my LLM, my teacher, Professor Devidas, he used to refer to that case, and he told, look, I want to read that book, but I could not get that book because it is banned. That somewhere ignited my mind. When I visited Bangalore, I visited almost all the bookshops, but they said, no, sir, that book is banned, it is not available, it's not available. And I was very much disappointed. But there is one place where all second-hand books are being sold. Very big market for that. I got in. I started searching for that. But that fellow in Kannada, he asked, Swami, which book you want? Please tell. You cannot search for the book. Then I told, wait, I got one copy. I give you that. He gave that copy to me. Lady Chatterjee Lover. That book is with me. He gave me that book. I was so happy. I read that book. When I read that book for the first time, I agreed with the observations of the court. Even I thought at some point of time, even I was thinking of dropping the book. Why to read this? All some kind of nonsense, because my mind was not ready to accept that. Not ready to accept that. Look at my age also, that point of time. Afterwards, somehow I completed. Again, this another case came, Maharashtra case came, where Mulk Raj Anand had to give his special, evidence for that same case, whether it can be allowed or not. Then they developed this comparative community test. If it is going, any literature is going to deprave the minds of the people, then that amounts to absurdity. Look, deprave means the age, the kind of lot. Then I give myself an example to that. Today, if the same book I read, no, I look at that as a beautiful piece of literature. Beautiful piece of literature. Therefore, my friends, a good teacher is one who makes the students to read more and more of a not-law books. Not necessarily law books. Some other thing related to this. Yeah. Let them see the movie, such kind of movie. Suppose if a movie is banned, you ask them to go and see that and give comments. Even you can give one assignment on that. I have done that. I have done that. I asked the students to identify the legal issues, regarding that the persons who were sentenced to death, what is the Nirbhaya case? Long time. Nirbhaya case. Beautiful ideas came. Sociological perspective, psychological perspective, economic perspective, so many things. Let them think. That originality will come. Then what I do normally, I don't, of course, I cannot expect this from all teachers, but if possible, you can do it. Normally, I take one or two incidents from either Ramayana or Mahabharata, relate that to here. I tell you how these extra studies help the students. In 1994, 95, exactly, I cannot remember, maybe 90. There was one national level moot court competition going on. I believe the finalists were, it was Government Law College, Bombay versus the National Law School. Two girls and one boy from Government College, Bombay, another one. It's a beautiful case, beautiful case. And I would like anything, both of them. It was very, very difficult situation for the jury, for the bench to decide. Then what happened? As you believe, I think it is Justice Gopal Gowda, Honorable Justice, former Justice of Supreme Court. He asked one question. All of a sudden, he asked one question. Look, Draupadi had 5 husbands. 5 husbands. But it happened that point of time. Mahabharata. But how can you justify that now? Because in that problem, it was a typical case from some tribal community where in the problem was structured in such a way, polyandry was in question. It is in contradiction with the common public policy. Something it was like that. That girl, I think she was just near to 5 foot, I think 4.9 or 4.8. Why I'm telling this? She had to stand like on her toes before that podium to see the judge. She simply jumped and said, that's exactly what I want to say here, your lordship. Even today, that kind of practice there in some parts of the Himalayas. There, if only the elder brother is allowed to marry, the others are not allowed to marry. Automatically, she becomes the wife to the remaining persons. The tradition is there. When it was an accepted notion at that point of time, Even today we follow them, Ramayana and Mahabharata as our guiding principles. Why not to have it as a guide? Then the judge asked, how can we have it? Whether does it have any normative influence? Then he said, is that binding? She said, no, it is not binding. It is not even persuasive, but it is guiding. The moment you say spontaneous, but it is guiding. Even judge forgot that he is presiding over. The whole audience, they clap, they cheer. That team won. And in the comments, the judge made, it is not because of the stuff she gave. It is because of the presence of mind and her wide reading. Because only through that I could examine that she has got a wide reading. My dear friends, I would like to relate that here. If a teacher has got that wide reading, occasionally he or she can bring those things into the class. You can make the students to hear. You can make the students not to sleep at least. Normally we speak of rule of law. How rule of law is viewed in India? Dharma. If you follow law, law protects you. Dharmo rakshate rakshitaha. If you protect dharma, dharma protects you. What is the problem in using the simple Sanskrit one power? Always tell truth. Satyam vada, dharma vada, na vada satyam apriyam. Satyam, yeah. Satyam vada dharmanchara. Like that, different translation. Like this, we can, if use, English you can use. Neither be a borrower nor a lender. Shakespeare. What is the problem? Have that? Tell these kind of things, but it requires a lot of reading on the part of teacher. And the teacher who has got that wide reading alone can influence the student to go for that. I am emphasizing this point just to say, no teachers are alike. Teachers are totally different. Their styles, approach, totally different. One teacher stick on to his podium. He will not move. Another teacher keeps walking. Normally, I do that. Even I visit the last bench, just a pat his back once. Hello, student, how are you? Then he will become other. Then keep asking them questions. My method is different. Ultimately, objective is to enlighten the student. If any teacher says, I am teaching everything and making him knowledgeable, I think that is misconception. It is not like that. We are just guiding them and we are making them to read more and more. We are exposing them to the different vistas of knowledge. Next, friends, research-oriented approach. What is the problem? If you give a small assignment to the students, just to tell them, dear friend, in your area, just go for one survey. How many slums are there? Give one assignment. Another student. Hello, student. Go and have a survey. How many beggars are there? Near that airport, not airport, near that railway station at least. There you'll be finding. Or a temple. Any problem? Give these kind of things. Then when they bring the data, tell them how to collect that, how to write. Instead of teaching that first, look, research is this, you should gather data. No, simply send them, bring the data. Afterwards, tell them, reverse method. So, normally one misconception is there. Research-oriented approach means always for a subject should give projects and there should be some dissertations, this and that. Not necessarily. Every class can be a research-oriented class. Okay, friends. Teacher plays a pivotal role in the life of a student. I need not tell this. My friends who are around 100 here, 100 number, everyone has got an ideal teacher behind him or her. Now, I remember Professor Devidas. I remember my teachers. If I am talking something before you, if I am confident of talking something, it is because of the excellent teachers who trained me not only the subject, but how to teach, how to maintain the mannerisms. Yes, friends, like that we can give imprints. Your own students who are practicing in different places, they remember you, they tell you, look, this teacher taught me how to interpret this. This teacher clearly, gave very clear idea regarding the difference between strict interpretation and a literal interpretation. No, I'm very, very confident what is literal interpretation, what is a strict interpretation. We play a very big role, not just a professional life, the entire life. And last, I need not tell, I have explained a lot regarding the unique characteristic and unique approach of each teacher. Next slide, please. Friends, this is my very favorite thing. If I remember, Mr. Devanshu made a similar kind of thing for me in 2015, I believe. Some presentation was there. For that, I asked him how to do it. I'll not get good before the computer. He said, sir, I will do it for you. Whether he remembers it or not, but I remember that. Ultimately, our whole journey of a teacher as well as an institution. Here, I don't want to distinguish teacher and institution. Throughout what that we do, we equip, empower, expose, and enlighten. Enlighten is the philosophical stand. That is the highest stage of the journey. Okay, first, equip. I call them 4 E's. Next slide, please. Equip. What is that equip? How do you equip? Whom you equip? You equip your own students. How? Madam, next slide, please. You will equip the student with a sound curriculum. Sound curriculum. My dear friends, the very first slide. Of course, that slide, that missed there. I started with that. The cart, the wheels of legal education. Who do it? Who are they? Number 1, curriculum. Number 2, pedagogy. We call that andragogy. Means if it is pedagogy for children, andro means that is for adults. And okay, fine. Pedagogy, that is teaching styles. Curriculum, we call that syllabus. How you execute? The teacher is the chariot. The teacher is the chariot. Arjuna could not win unless he had the Krishna. It is the Krishna who won that. So no education institution can become something unique, different, unless the teachers are participant, because they are the actual charities, drivers, pilots. But how they do it? Where is the fuel? Fuel is your sound curriculum. One of my learned colleagues here tell me, sir, how can there be a difference in curriculum, sir? Bar Council of India has already prescribed core subjects, clinical papers, optional papers for honors course. Everything is done. Where is liberty, sir? What is sound curriculum? My dear friends, that's where your intelligence play. Everyone is a doctor, everyone is a surgeon, but we don't go to every surgeon. A surgeon who knows, the moment he looks at you, he will feel your pulse and touch a particular nerve only. Structuring the curriculum is a very, very important thing. How you structure it, that is the stuff, that is the fuel, actual fuel. I believe all of you must have taken part in a board of studies. If you have taken part in board of studies, don't miss that opportunity. Give your full. How to develop it? Go for a comparative study. Nowadays, it is available on the website. It is mandatory. Many institutions upload their curriculum. Go for that. Go for a SWOT analysis of each one and prepare best one, keeping in mind the professional demand that keeps changing. Next, Rigorous teaching and continuous evaluation. Rigorous teaching. I call that is a little rough expression. I would like to say, prefer to call it academic atmosphere. Throughout the year, 365 days, round the clock, that academic atmosphere shall be there. Now, that Harvard, I visited their website. They have already given who will take a class at what point of time and what the subject. Classes are scheduled between 6 to 8, 2 hours continuous, 6 to 8, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Can we expect your students to come and attend your classes between 6 and 8? Actually, we have to develop that culture. The students, we have to inculcate that culture. Their institutional culture, what is the institutional culture? They say, this is the thing, you come. If you want to be a student of Harvard, you should be prepared for this. Because there is no time to learn. You cannot frame the time. Nothing like that. It should happen like that. Rigorous teaching, no compromise so far as core teaching is concerned. You have to define contract means you have to define contract. You have to define the different offenses under IPC. You have to define like that only. No other alternative. In transfer of property, what is mortgage? We have to tell what is mortgage. What section says. So what is solemnization of marriage? Section 7. You have to tell that. No alternative. Rigorous teaching and continuous evaluation. And once 1 week is done, 1 unit is done, you have to evaluate. That is actually what we call course outcome. CO. CO. There are 2 words. One is program outcome, another is course outcome. And it reflects your contribution also. At the end of the day, if you go for a small test, a quiz, it doesn't take very long time. You can go for it and evaluate them where they stand. And this evaluation not necessarily be a part of your final evaluation, which effects on the grading. No, not necessarily. It can be a perfect evaluation of yourself and how much you could able to give to the students and where that student stands now. That is continuous evaluation. Then conventional mode of teaching, of course, I have already taken sufficient time on that. Then rigorous training on specialization. Of course, one student may take up intellectual property law, another one may go for cyber law, and another one may go for space law. One is interested in law and fisheries, another one may be interested in sports law, and there are a lot kind of areas, emerging areas. What we should do? We should give sufficient exposure and rigorous training, okay, on specialization. Then sharpening the skills. When you speak of skills of communication, articulation, what kind of the drafting. Of course, I have used the word sharpening. I did not use the word creating. This is my personal opinion. You may agree with me or option is yours, my dear friends. You cannot create a skill. You can sharpen the skill. You can brighten up the skills, the person. There is a famous saying, here, buddhi karmanusarani. Whatever buddhi we do have, the skills we do have, it is always, maybe we may call it our DNA or whatever it is. But another thing, learning, abhyasanugata vidya. Vidya, knowledge, abhyasanugata. How much you work on that, so much you get. It follows that. It follows that. More and more you read, more and more you knowledge. You will get the knowledge. Abhyasanugata vidya, buddhi karma anusarini. That you cannot change. Original IQ you cannot change. What you can do, you can sharpen it. You can sharpen it. That is our job. That is the job of the teacher as well as the institutions. Yes, extra reading, expose the students to have knowledge, to acquire the knowledge from different corners. Suppose if there is a moot court, if you want to train them, look, you should come like this and that. He will say, what is this, sir? No, sir, boring. Instead of that, bring a video clip of a, the very, very good moot court competition, maybe of your own institution. Every time you need not go for Jessup. Your institution might have conducted an excellent moot court competition, and you must be having the recording of that. Just to show a piece of that, the climax of that. You'll be very happy because that visual kind of things, it has got its own impact. So like that, extra reading and thing. Then a preparation to take up complex situations. Yes, this is what we call problem solving. It requires some extra time. It expects some extra labor from the teachers. And every teacher cannot do it. There are specialists who can prepare the people. In management education, normally they do it. When complex situations come, how do you manage? We can give such kind of some imaginary kind of situations, create it and give. Then teaching by professionals for practical people. Sir, I have taught law for 40 years. True. If you ask me to teach a drafting, I cannot draft. I say I can draft. Of course, who is the model for me? Model for me is either D'Souza, Mullah. That's it. But a lawyer who has taught that, been doing that, a lawyer who has been doing the job for the past 20 years, 25 years, ask him, he will come and he will say what to write, what not to write. Okay? Then next, add additional courses as per requirement. As per a requirement. You can give some value addition courses. Different courses. Yeah. This is how you can equip. Equip is to strengthen up them. Equipping. The basic, I can say, to develop the perfect frame, the constitution of a lawyer, constitutional lawyer. Now, let us go to the next kind of thing. Next one, exposure. Normally, in a lighter way, I call it exposure is a kind of giving a facelift. Whatever may be your originality, we go for shaving, we go for combing, we go for nice haircut or nice dressing, whatever it's. Why? To show we are something different. How it can happen? It can happen when we do have some different exposure. There is one presumption. They do have sufficient exposure. I sincerely admit the fact that my students do have more exposure than me. On few things, few counts, I am rigid, I am conservative. I do not have that exposure. Whereas my students do have that exposure. They do have that exposure. Then a research-oriented approach at all levels. Already we have we have discussed that aspect. As far as possible, comparative study. Comparative study. When they do comparative study, then they will understand what is this, what is that. Comparative study not necessarily be case laws or different legal systems. I tell you one small thing. You send one team from your school. Suppose you are from Benares. Benares is known for Kashi Vishwanatheshwar Devasthan. Vishweshwar Devasthan. Yeah, Shiva Devasthan. Right? You know how that Ganges, how much money they are spending on a Save Ganga project. Ask one group of students to visit some temple of Narmada. Let them go for Narmada. It's also a very big river. Ganga cha Yamuna chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. Look, we do not know when our ancestors framed this shloka. Entire India is one. Look, Gange cha Yamune chaiva, Ganga Yamuna north, Godavari Saraswati, Saraswati is Guptagamini now, Godavari middle, Narmada that divides North India, South India, Narmada, Sindhu that is the first major part, in Pakistan now, Kaveri extreme south. They are the very sacred rivers. The point is how it has brought the entire the concept of India. They explain that. No, Ganga, then Yamuna or Kaveri. Send one team. It doesn't require huge money. Ask them to go for a survey. In this comparative study, gives a clear picture. Like this, unless we go for a comparison, it's very difficult. Even institution, even in the ranking is a kind of comparison only. If one institution got a second place in NI or if I got 15th place, why this? Where they are strong, where we are weak, where we are strong, where they are weak, where we can improve ourselves. And this comparative study always is done to improve ourselves. The next, exposed to new trends in the world or world order. It may be with reference to economics, business, human rights. No, lot of wars going on, and war may break out in the near future. You do have lot kind of things, and lot of changes are going on in economy. What is the role of dollar? How the other countries like Sri Lanka and Pakistan is going to be doomed? Expose them to this kind of thing. I think we can go for, a small project on human rights. Look, I think it is 3 days from now or 4 days from now, Supreme Court silently withdrew itself. It is a kind of helplessness or helplessness on its part to say, I have to give finality regarding freebies. I was expecting something different from at least a judge like someone. I do not know even how the bench was constituted. And as expected, political parties, they pounced upon this and silently, it is a kind of judicial restraint, I believe. Judiciary stepped in. Say, okay, this and that. Oh, no. Here, you expose the students to the trends of judiciary. Trends of judiciary. World order, then expose the hard realities of the society. I call that sensitization program. I have been doing the sensitization program, my dear friends, for the past almost 30 years. I started doing this when I was an NSS officer. NSS officer. You believe it or not, once I took some 20 students, were all from very upper class, including girls, to the field and asked them to help the farmers there in harvesting. For the first time, they removed their slippers and got into the field. As their impression and expression was something different. After doing that, especially the girls, they came crying. Sir, we did not know that it is so hard, agriculture is so hard. In this hot sun they are doing. Of course, these farmers, they have got some sacred kind of thing towards the land. And when they do harvesting, that kind of thing, they don't wear slippers, shoes and other things. That kind of sanctity they maintain. Oh, what is this, sir? Yes, this is life. Take them to, how much money you spend on this? Nothing. Send them to old age homes. Then he can argue a case if it comes to related to maintenance. Send them to orphanage, let them see. Then he can argue very well in some case regarding to POSCO Act or whatever it is. Send them to some destitutes home. If any case related to prostitution, exploitation, first-hand information you will get and he can argue well. With all that, the sound sensitization programs, make him more mature. Please go back to my earlier slide. Which one? Objectives. We want to create a kind of empathy. A person who feels for the society. We can create them. We can remove the ego from their mouth. Next one, I need not go for updating the new technology. Everyone is interaction with achievers. My dear friends, always I keep telling all my students as well as friends. I would like to pass on this information to you. If anyone wants to grow, they should have very good interaction and friendship with someone who is above us, means a better achiever. For that, there is no barrier like age, gender, caste, religion, or whatever it is. Suppose a person is an achiever at the age of 30, but you are 50, but is an achiever. What is the problem in having some interaction, good friendship? Another part may be a lady, you are a gentleman, no problem. Maybe your own colleague. Your colleague, could able to get one beautiful article published in Scopus Index 1. You could not do it. Now, comparatively, that colleague, she is an achiever. What is the problem in having good relationship, good rapport, and interaction with him? The thing is, without our knowledge, the achievers will take us up. We will be having a good exposure of their life experience or hard work, whatever it is. Because it is always the experience of what makes us better. These achievers have experienced that. They will share that. Then we can also climb. Like, a person taking us in a mountaineering, it happens. An experienced person takes us up. They tell, they guide us. Always have interaction and friendship with the persons who are better than us in any perspective or in any sense. Next slide, please. I think my time is running out. My dear friend, how much time you would like to give me? Accordingly, I will sum up. Devanshu, is there time? Organizers, please. Okay. Then empower. What is the empowerment, sir? Invigoration. Through your personality development programs, you should have this add-on program, additional professional trainings. Look, last week I had a program on etiquettes of an advocate. Our one batch of graduate they're going to enroll soon. They do have some exposure in terms of internship, court visit, everything. But I asked a very senior advocate to come and address them. That advocate in such a way actually created a mock court there. He said, how to address, how to enter. No, it is not some drama. You should look like this. Right from how to go for tie. Simply people say, I have the tie. No, that knot is somewhere else. Button is not done. Collar is somewhere else. Happers are not shaven properly. Not kind of things. No, very bad appearance. No, it is not like that. You do. This is what additional professional training. These kind of things we should give. Value-additional courses, yes. And last one, mentoring and counseling. Of course, every teacher cannot become a mentor. Every teacher cannot become a counselor. They are specialists. Normally, the people do have some background of psychology. Okay, they are very good. They can give very good mentoring and counseling. Actually, this is the stage. It is like, if I can give a small analogy from what you call the green room, I don't know, in cricket or whatever it is, before sending that man to bat, they give some kind of counseling and some kind of support and fill in that confidence and send them to the track. Like that, this is the job we do it. And the consequence is the last one, enlightened. The whole thing, the lot is enlightened. Next slide, please. Now our students are enlightened. Simultaneously, our students are our teachers. My dear friends, kindly remember this. A teacher always grows, not just along with the student, but through the student. It is the real student who makes the teacher to be very serious. It's through the student, they make us to be more serious, more exposed, more committed. Yes, to student. That is one of the reasons why in olden days, I do not know what is the habit. Of course, I do follow that. Even today, I follow that. Whenever we get into the classroom, first I fold my hands to my students, I salute them, then I start whatever, sharing whatever little I know with them. Even I don't carry the, some feeling like I am teaching. I tell them I am going to share something, my experience or my exposure, my expertise with you. Like that. The outcome of first 3 stages is enlightenment. It's a philosophical stage. And technically, if you look at our rules or whatever it is, NEP, National Education Policy, that expect some outcome-based program. Yes, that is achieved. Yeah, a sign of maturity to take up the chosen field, whatever it is, whether it's a judicial service or a corporate service or litigation or research, teaching, politics, whatever it is, sky is the limit. In any chosen field, they can do well. And our objective is always that. Please keep this in mind. The teacher always remembers. Always they should remember Dronacharya. When Arjuna shooting the arm, the arrows, and they're piercing his body, he was saying, "Oh, phala, very good, excellent." Then Duryodhana became very angry. He says, "What kind of person you are? He is your enemy, he is shooting you, but you're telling." Then he says, do you know what is that? Shishyadi chet parajayat. Mean to say, look, my student, look his perfection, how he is doing. Whatever I have taught to him, it has become fruitful. He has fructified the whole kind of things. Always a real guru is one who expects some defeat from Mr. Shishya. Mean to say, always our students excel and they should achieve what we could not achieve in our life. This is the real expectation of a teacher. Then you can understand the responsibilities of the teachers also. Friend, yeah, this is again a kind of a spiritual or a philosophical arena. Next slide, please. I think I just have 2 slides, small one. How it can be done? Teachers, no substitute. Be a living teacher in the classroom. I firmly believe in that. No substitute for any teacher. A robot cannot substitute. A robot can substitute a doctor for some operation or diagnosis like computer, but not some surgery. Again, focused teachers with sound knowledge and commitment. Yes, committed institutions. Of course, I have got very little to say in this aspect. Area is little complex. Committed institutions. Institutions do have their own agenda. Sometimes teacher may be very highly motivated, they want to do something, but there may be practically some constraint to do it. Economical, financial constraints, administrative constraints, infrastructural constraints. All these kind of things are there. Every time we cannot compare ourselves with Melbourne Law School. We cannot compare ourselves with Stanford. Even private colleges, few private colleges cannot compare themselves with any of the national law schools. So far as infrastructure is a concern. Okay, fine. These constraints are there. In spite of it, you do it. But please listen to the 4th one. No aping business. Have institution uniqueness with vision. One teacher need not ape another teacher. We need not imitate. One institution need not ape another institution. Please maintain uniqueness. We should be different. If you are different, then society recognizes us. Not only that, our students, they go back with sense of satisfaction for having armed something with them. They're taking something with us. Strong information database. You call it a library, online, whatever it is. It's very, very strong information database is available. It's possible, provided meticulous planning, execution, and revision. Then only outcome, whatever we design, that comes true. I think next one is the last slide, I believe. We know it well. I need not explain. Realization of his role in the attached responsibility, preparation, updated. Yes, friends, even today, if I get into the classroom, first I glance at today's newspaper, then I get into the class. Sometimes I start some case, just judgment delivered yesterday evening. If it is relevant, I take up the case and discuss that. I relate that to my topic. Then at least we should have minimum knowledge of technology to operate a computer or downloading or uploading or whatever. Minimum we should have, minimum knowledge. And please, this point, I have highlighted this. Develop individual style of teaching and training. You need not become Gurudat. Gurudat need not become X, Y, Z. Gurudat is Gurudat, Apurva is Apurva, Divamshu is Divamshu, Mr. Mukesh is Mukesh. Contract, constant interaction, and believe that you are the teacher. guide, mentor, and philosopher. Conclusion. I conclude this with a beautiful quote of a Maxwell Cohen. Please look at that bracket. 1950 mean to say almost 70 years done. Still it is relevant according to me. The function of legal education, bracket you can add teachers. Thus is not only to impart legal skills, but to impart an understanding as to the needs for which those skills are to be used. That is, towards a full sense of contribution, the lawyers are to make the function of law as a potent instrument of the building up and preservation of such a society. Yes, society will play a very big role. Thank you, my dear friends. I started 20 minutes behind the schedule and I crossed the limit by 19 minutes. I plead excuse for this to the organizers. If a system allows to take any question, fine. If the system doesn't allow, even otherwise, fine. And I am available online, I mean, at least via mail. Anyone can interact with me. Dr. Devanshu, we can share my telephone number without any hesitation with my peers. If they want to interact with me, they can interact with me.
Sure, sir.
Mail or phone or whatever it is. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
So much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request the participants to switch on their cameras so that we can take a group photograph. And if any of the participants are willing to unmute themselves and ask any of the questions, they are free to do so. Thank you so much, sir.
Normally in classroom, it happens like that. No questions means the two inferences. Inference number one, the teacher could not reach any of the students. Or second inference, there is no room for any questions, so it's very crystal clear.
So
I
we'll
don't know whether I
We'll go for the
flip
second
to
option.
this side or that side.
So the answer is already in the chat.
But I remember one
Everybody
thing,
has understood everything.
dear friend. Once my another colleague, she shared, when I asked the same thing, one student answered, sir, I did not ask the question because I did not want to embarrass you in the classroom. So sincere student she was. Please carry on.
Yes, sir. Someone please propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session which we had today. And I believe everyone must have been equipped with the 4 E's which sir mentioned, and we all might have some or the other takeaways for the session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you. It's a wonderful opportunity given to me to be with esteemed colleagues from different parts of country, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Young participants.
Yes, sir. We have participants from nearly 26 states, sir.
Wow, excellent. Recipes speaks of volumes of hard work and how you able to bring them together. Good.
Yes.
These
Thank
kind
you
of
so much, sir.
sessions
It was a
should be there.
pleasure listening to you. Thank you.
I can take your leave.
Yes, sir, please. Thank you so much, sir. Dear all, we'll be starting with the session. I request everybody to do not leave the meeting because the speaker for the second session has already joined. So I would request everybody to please, we can have a 10 minutes break, but request you not to leave the meeting. Thank you, Soumya ma'am, for the effective moderation. I guess handling the PPTs parallelly and doing it, it was a wonderful job done by you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So today, Dr. Apurva Dikshit, she is the assistant professor at Jagran Lake City University. She will be moderating the session for us. And I would request Apurva ma'am to start with the session.
We have 2-3 minutes, so we can wait for the participants to join if they have joined.
So maximum number of have joined. So if you give your permission, so we can start.
Okay. Let's start then. Let's not wait.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all to the day 4, session 2 of the 15-day online refresher course on New Age teaching methods and skill in higher education, organized by Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal and Droid Penal Group in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Today, we have our guest speaker, Professor Dr. A.K. Bakshi. Before handing over the podium to Sir to interact with the audience, I'll introduce Sir. Professor A.K. Bakshi, former Sir Shankar Lal Professor of Chemistry in the University of Delhi, is presently founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana. He has been Executive Director of Tertiary Education Commission, Mauritius, and Vice Chancellor of UP Rajshri Tandon Open University, Allahabad. Professor Bakshi is also presently Chairman of the National Resource Center for Chemistry of MHRD, Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center of MHRD and Center of E-Learning, all allocated at SGTB Khalsa College of Delhi University. Professor Bakshi has also been member of the Standing Committee of the National Mission on Education through ICT of the Government of India. He was also the chairman of the Content Advisory Committee for Chemistry for Sakshat Portal of MHRD, Government of India. He has also been head of Department of Chemistry, director of CPDHE, and director of Institute of Lifelong Learning of Delhi University. He has also been a visiting professor of GGS IP University in Delhi, a double gold medalist and recipient of several awards and academics honors. Professor Bakshi was felicitated 2 times for his outstanding contributions to education by the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Professor Bakshi is the author, co-author of more than 180 research and educational articles and also holds 1 patent. He has to his credit 11 books as co-author and author and 51 e-books and books as editor, chairman, convener of the working group and 63 e-modules as author, co-author for PG chemistry courses and ARPIT programs of the MHRD. Professor Bakshi has also been a member of National Writing Team for Chemistry Class 11th and 12th books of NCERT. Professor Bakshi was elected as the president of the section of Chemical Sciences of the Indian Sciences Congress Association for the year 2011 and 12. He has also been the member of various committees of national and international importance. He has also been one of the persons from universities in India to have been selected as a member scientist of 3rd research expedition to Antarctica. Sir, it's an absolute honor to have you amongst us. Without any further ado, I would request you to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Apurva, for your very kind words of introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. It's indeed a great pleasure to be with you again, but this time on an altogether different topic. And I'm sure that you will find this topic very, very interesting for each one of you, irrespective of your specialization or discipline. And I also thank Mr. Gaurav for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you. Now, before I start my talk, and I also see Dr. Devanshu Srivastava, he's also there. So nice meeting you again, Devanshu, and hope to be meeting you physically also someday. Yeah. So let me share my screen first. Is my screen visible and am I audible, please?
Yes, sir. Visible and audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So starting with my talk, the title of my talk is Empowering Teachers for Quality Higher Education in India in the 21st Century, Challenges and Opportunities. You know, I have chosen this topic because we have participants from diverse disciplines. But this topic is going to be of interest to each one of you. And as it is clear from this slide, challenges are to be taken as opportunities in disguise. You know, it's a motivational talk aimed at empowering higher education teachers to enable them to succeed and thrive in the 21st century. And believe you me, it can be a game changer for you if you try to adopt whatsoever is told. This talk is based on my conceptualization and experience. And I think it will prepare you for life. The basic philosophy behind this talk is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. But teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So that's basically what this talk is aiming at. Why I am empowering teachers? Because I believe that the quality of an education system can never exceed the quality of its teachers. So if you want to enhance the quality of an education system, you must raise the competence and quality of its teachers. And once teachers are empowered, they in turn will empower their students. So let's empower teachers to support student learning. Please remember, our greatest natural resource is the minds of our children. India is one of the youngest nations of the world. 50% population is less than 25 years and 65% population less than 35 years. So these young minds need to be ready for future. And to a great extent, responsibility rests on you. Students may be just 25% of our population, but then they are 100% of our future. This is something you have to keep it in mind. And please remember, a child miseducated is a child lost. So we cannot afford to miseducate even a single child. Now, starting with the talk, let's look at the traditional roles of a teacher in higher education. These are mainly three: to disseminate knowledge, that is teaching; to create knowledge, that is research and also guide research; and then academic administration and management. But the first two roles are most important. And a teacher is expected to excel in all the three roles, as a matter of fact. In my opinion, if you want to be an outstanding teacher or a researcher, in any discipline you may be, you should have a very sound and deep knowledge of your subject, in-depth knowledge. You should be very good in practical skills. You should have the clarity of concepts. And your teaching should reflect the amount of thinking you have done on the subject. It's not very easy, but then you have to work hard. You should have the passion to become an outstanding teacher. Because, you know, nothing great in this world has ever been achieved without passion. And if you want to be an outstanding researcher, you need to be an out-of-box thinker. You should have an analytical mind. You should be innovative and creative. And then 4 C's, as I have written: curiosity, creativity, courage, and commitment. These 4 things are very, very essential for being an outstanding researcher. And then an outstanding teacher or a researcher should also have excellent communication and presentation skills. You know, these are not very easy to acquire. You need to do a lot of practice as to how you present your ideas and how well you can communicate. Please remember, no one will really take the pains to listen to your ideas until and unless your communication is effective and impressive. And also keep it in mind, all the great speakers were bad speakers at first. So you need to work hard, and then there will be no stopping for you. Having said all that, let us now look at what are going to be the challenges in the 21st century for higher education teachers. You know, first we will take up the challenges of the present information age. We are living in an information age where getting any information is just possible by the click of the mouse. But then this is an age of uncertainty. There is a future of jobs report published by the World Economic Forum, according to which 65% of the children entering primary school in 2019 will be working in jobs that don't even exist right now. So you do not know in which jobs your students will tomorrow be placed. They may not be existing even. So that way it is an age of uncertainty. Then this is also an age of artificial intelligence. This is an age where the artificial intelligence will equal the intelligence of the students by the time they finish education. If I can have machines with the same intelligence as you, then why do I need you? That is another challenge before us. And the third, because you know, in future, many jobs are going to be in danger. Maybe due to artificial intelligence, automation, or robotics. All those traditional jobs which are repetitive or of predictable nature, they will be in danger. Those jobs which require no critical thinking or no critical analysis or no research base or even specialization, even those jobs may also be in danger in future. Then this is also an age of mass education. This is going to be an age where more and more students over the next 30 years will graduate than since the beginning of the recorded history. So what does it mean? It means the competition is going to be very tough. Traditional jobs will be very few, but takers would be many. And on the other hand, there would be many high-skilled jobs which will be available, but there will be hardly any taker. So this is going to be the situation in the years to come. So your challenge as a teacher in future is going to be how to teach the child to succeed in a future which is so uncertain. That's something you have to keep it in mind. Second is, what are the 21st century learning needs? Let's dwell on that. It is said that in the 21st century, if you want to excel, you need two things at least. One is rigorous academic content. You should be very good in the subject. And the second is 21st century skills. These two taken together constitute what is called deeper learning. And this deeper learning is necessary if we want our student to succeed in the 21st century. Now you may ask the question, what are these 21st century skills? These are a set of abilities which our students need to possess if they want to be successful in the 21st century. So these skills come under three categories. One is the learning skills, which include critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Then we need literacy skills, where we have information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. And the third is the life skills, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. These 12 skills broadly are known as the 21st century skills. Now you may ask the question, why suddenly these skills have become so important? This is so because you cannot have a machine with these skills. You can't have a machine which is critically thinking. You can't have a machine which is creative or which is flexible or takes initiative or has leadership quality. So all those individuals who will possess these skills, they will be much in demand in the years to come. These will be the deciding factor as far as the placement is concerned in this information age. Skill development continues to be a major concern in India. And the need for skilled workforce is increasing day by day. Although we have the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, but still, skill development is a serious matter in India. And there is a report that there is going to be a shortfall of over 4 million high-skilled workers in the world by 2024. So many jobs, but there will not be many people with such skills. And the problem with the teachers is they generally disseminate knowledge. They don't know how to, equip students with skills. That is another issue of concern. It's only because of these skills that now many companies are hiring people without degrees, provided they have the skill set. Look at Google, Starbucks, EY, IBM, all these. They are hiring people just if they possess skill set. And because of this knowledge, skills, even, in the coming years, the concept of success is changing. As a result of this 21st century education, the concept of success has changed. Success has altogether a different meaning now than what it had in the past. Successful people in the 21st century will be those who will choose to create their own jobs rather than working in the traditional jobs. This jobs for life, this concept will be over very soon. Yes, Most of the successful people will choose their own working hours and office. They will live and work anywhere in the world. They will work with peers across the globe. And in any job, upskilling and reskilling will become an absolute necessity. You cannot remain in a job for a long time with the same set of skills with which you started that job. No. And then lifelong learning will be key to successful and fulfilling careers. And successful people will also change what they are working on to keep up with their interests and abilities. The things they don't like, they will outsource them. They will travel. They will enjoy earning potential that is not capped by a salary figure like we have an increment like that. Nothing, things are changing very, very fast. So this is going to be the concept of success in the 21st century. Therefore, in such a scenario, the focus is going to be on competence for excellence. Quality education in the 21st century will consist of three things. This is a very important slide. Knowledge. You should have disciplinary knowledge, interdisciplinary knowledge, and practical knowledge. All the three. And the latest one. Then you should have the 21st century skills. And one more thing which would be required, that is your values, attitudes, traits, disposition, but ultimately come under personality. These three things will become very, very essential in the 21st century. And these three things constitute what is called competence. When we were students, we always focused on knowledge. Skills, not much attention. And personality, nobody bothered much. Everybody thought everybody will have some personality. But now these things have become very, very important. And if you are weak in any one of them, you will not be able to make mark in the 21st century. That is why, these days people talk about competency-based education as well as competency-based assessment also. Assessment should also test all the three components. And we should also therefore teach and test knowledge, skills, and personality development. Therefore, focus for all of you, including all the teachers, should be on acquiring competence. And competence is something like an iceberg phenomenon. Knowledge and skills are known to everybody. They can come to you. But personality is something under the sea, like in an iceberg. So 1/9 is above and remaining is below. So personality is always hidden. When you deal with a person over a period of time, you come to know of his values, attitudes, behaviors, and so-called personality. But then this personality can totally make or mar a person. There is a report that 87% of all people fail in their life. Not because of capability, but because of personality. But personality, we hardly pay any attention. In civil services, interview is called personality test, overall behavior. Tomorrow you are a civil servant, how will you behave in different situations? They try to assess. But in India, personality development is often neglected. Next, the third challenge in the 21st century, in my opinion, is there is a need to create innovative minds, creative and innovative minds in India. I always feel that there is a crisis of innovation and creativity in Indian education system. Look at the fact. No Nobel Prize for a scientist in India since 1930. And no, I come from the chemistry discipline. No chemist working in India has been able to get any Nobel Prize ever. In physics, C.V. Raman got it in 1930. But since then, it's almost more than 90 years. Nobody has got Nobel Prize. These people got, but they were non-resident Indians. Even, Amartya Sen, although he is an Indian, but for decades he has been staying abroad. Even Abhijit Banerjee is an American citizen. So please remember, Nobel Prize is not a lifetime achievement award. No. If you want to excel in research at that level, you need many things. One is enormous amount of creativity and open-mindedness. We lack in that. You also need willingness to collaborate. Generally, that is also missing. We prefer to work in isolation rather than collaboration. And then we need perseverance and resilience. Even on this front, we are lacking. We sometimes want immediate gains. I remember 2 years back, a person in chemistry got a Nobel Prize. He was 97-year-old. So it's because of our research work, our creativity, that we are not able to make a mark at world university rankings. Research contribution plays a very important role. There is a decline in the world ranking of our Indian universities, as you can see here. And one of the main reasons for poor ranking is poor quality of our research programs. And my feeling is, at least in sciences, I can say, best minds don't come to research. After 12th class, brightest students go to medicine or engineering. Then the remaining come to pure sciences, and then very few of them come to research. And then, I also feel that we do not teach our students for research. Research culture is missing. That is the reason why we lack in quality research. It's linked directly to our education system. There is a fundamental flaw in our education system. Let's watch this video. This is an eye-opener for all of us.
For decades, people have been finding hundreds of flaws in the education system. No conceptual understanding, no creativity, children are stressed, and the list goes on. All these are symptoms. But what is the root cause to all this? What is the fundamental flaw in the education system? Let us play a rapid-fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question. Let's start. First question, A4? Okay, no more questions. Did you think apple first? 98% of people are most likely to think so. Because that was what we were told in our kindergarten. Imagine that this was done differently. Say we had asked you for all the words starting with A. Ant, ace, April, apt. Different answers would have popped out of everyone's head. Do you see where the problem is? Before children start going to school, every child is unique. Every child thinks different. But the education system makes every child think the same. This is the fundamental flaw in the education system. Why did this start? During the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the education system was designed to make children ready to work in factories. The factories did not require people to think, but to only work like robots. So, the education system stripped children of their freedom to think and destroyed their true potential. The same education system continues even today. Only the industries have changed. A study by NASA shows that 98% of children think different before they start going to school. As they go through this education system, at 25 years of age, only 2% think different. and 98% think the same. So how does the education system make every child the same? Let's go back to the apple example. Kindergarten lessons told us that A is for apple. We asked you for words that start with A. Our education system gave us the answers. We asked you a question. Answers make you the same. Questions make you different. Right from kindergarten, the education system keeps giving answers. Instead of asking children how plants make food, the science teacher gives you the definition of photosynthesis. Instead of asking them to describe the sun, the teacher tells them that the sun is a ball of fire at the center of the solar system. Through their years in school, children lose the capability to think on their own. Whether it is their choice of career or their relationship or any situation in life, they become.
You can very well see how our education system strip our children of their ability to think on their own. And it's a very big damage that we are doing. Our education system is outdated and does not encourage thinking, innovation, and creativity amongst students. And please remember, without creativity, there can be no progress. And we would be forever repeating the same pattern. As a matter of fact, creativity is as important as literacy. That is what it should be. You know, Albert Einstein once said, I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. And what is curiosity? Curiosity means you question the answers. And then out of that, creativity comes. But we do not encourage in our education system. Of course, there is one more point, that our expenditure on research and development is also quite low. It is about 0.6 to 0.7% of our GDP. And it has been more or less constant for the last 2 decades. As a matter of fact, I think private sector need to come forward. If you look at some other countries, they have a much larger percentage of the GDP expenditure for research and development. Another challenge which I think in higher education is we need to enhance the quality of higher education in India. This is one more challenge. Because, you know, ensuring quality higher education is one of the most important things we can do for future generations. So if we have to enhance quality, we have to look at 3 things. What do we teach? How do we teach? And how do we assess our students? If we look at what do we teach, generally our syllabi are outdated and heavy. Hardly any time for thinking. If we go by how do we teach, it is the traditional talk and chalk method. And if we ask you about how do we assess, assessment is also examination-driven learning. So these are the 3 points we need to take up one by one. Curriculum. You know, what is curriculum after all? Curriculum is a total learning experience in a formal education system. And the new education policy clearly mentions that we need to have light syllabi, core essentials should be included, but it should be a modern syllabus because knowledge is growing very, very fast. We need to have skill-based and industry-led curriculum. That is the need of the hour. But then we are not able to do because our teachers themselves are not equipped to handle that syllabi. So teachers also need to be equipped accordingly. Please remember, outdated syllabi increase the gap between what is learned and what should be learned. And this affects the quality of research. That is why in many of the fields, we are only followers. We have not become leaders. And this is one important reason for that. And this, revision of the syllabi should start from school level, and there should be a proper coordination between school education and higher education. As far as the pedagogy goes, that means how do we teach? We still teach by talk and chalk method, which is a teacher-centric approach, mainly a monologue method. It presumes all students learn in an identical fashion. Many complex concepts you cannot explain on the board. You can't solve many problems in the class due to the paucity of time. Then it is slow and time consuming. But we still follow this method. And this method focuses more on examination, rote learning, and scoring high marks. This is today's reality in every discipline. Nobody wants to learn the concept. Everybody is more bothered about 90+ marks. Therefore, we need to follow learner-centered learning. Teacher-centered learning is, teacher is more concerned about improving his teaching. In learner-centered learning, the focus is how we can improve students' learning. That means, and this is possible if we engage our students. Please remember, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of activities of the learners. So we somehow need to engage learners. Why there is a need of learner-centric education? Because, students will learn best when they are engrossed in the topic, motivated to seek out new knowledge and skills, because they need them in order to solve the problems at hand. And all this is possible in the information age. Any information they want, just very click of mouse, they can get it. So that is basically the need of the hour. These are the 21st century teaching methods. And learner-centric education does not employ a single method of teaching. There are many. In our traditional method, what is the thinking? The thinking is, student is told what he or she needs to know. They memorize it, and then a problem is assigned to them to illustrate how to use what they have memorized. That is normally what we do. But in the problem-based learning, you assign a problem to the student. Student identifies, tries to find out what all he or she needs in order to solve that problem. Then they try to get it, learn it, and then apply it and solve the problem. So that is the problem-based learning, is learner-centric education. Similarly, we have project-based learning. That also similarly, a project is given, students will try to find out what all they need in order to work on the project. They will try to get that information, they will analyze the information, and then they will derive knowledge from the information and write a project report. Another thing is collaborative learning is also learner-centric. I have some idea, you have some idea. Both of us interact and come out with the best idea. And in collaborative learning environment, this strategy is becoming very popular in the world. Think, pair, share, TPS. A student is assigned a problem, student thinks what could be the answer, then the student is paired with another student. Then they share each other's ideas and come out with the best idea. And then that pair of the student, then they are forming a bigger group, share with the rest of the class. So collaborative learning takes place and the best ideas come out. And everybody is engaged, everybody is involved. So this TPS collaborative learning strategy promotes participation, focuses attention, and engages students. It's something like turning your classroom into a collaborative learning community. And another, which is now becoming very popular all over the world, is flipped classroom, which was developed by these two teachers about a decade back. Here, what do? A teacher will create a video lecture on any concept and share it with the students. Student at home will watch that lecture and prepare questions for the teacher. They will watch the lecture 2-3 times and prepare questions for the teacher. Then at school or at college, teacher will facilitate discussion and answer students' questions. And the student will ask questions and participate in the learning activities. So this is a flipped model. It's the other way around. Roles have changed. You see the comparison in connection with Bloom's taxonomy. In the traditional classroom, teacher delivers the lecture, so remembering and understanding is done in the class. But for higher order thinking skills, students are left to do it outside the class. But in the flipped classroom model, remembering and understanding is done outside the class at home by watching that video lecture. But then inside the class, higher order thinking skills are imbibed through discussion with the teacher and all that. Even, if you look at some of the leading universities of the world, Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, more focus is on case studies, experiential learning, project-based and problem-based learning, collaborative learning, and less emphasis on lecture-based learning. In India, we still continue to focus on lecture-based learning. Oh, I have 14 or 16 or 18 lectures a week, something like that. And then, in our teaching, we also need to follow an integrated approach to teaching and learning. Generally, we teach subjects in isolation, as if this subject has nothing to do with the other. No, that's wrong. It is a holistic system. You are teaching just one subject, but they are linked to the others. The present day world is of interdisciplinarity, and the research fields are also highly interdisciplinary. So don't teach subjects in isolation. Then you should also be able to design activities and assignments which challenge the student's mind, enhance creative thinking ability, improve analytical skills of the students, and give students more control over their time, over their learning. But who will do this, all that? It is the teachers. So teachers themselves should be aware of how to do that. That is why, we are not able to come out of our old system. Please remember, if we teach today's student as we taught yesterday's, we are going to rob them of tomorrow. So you must change with the changing times. This was my article in Times of India's Education Times, Creativity Crisis in the Indian Education System. This was my article about flipped classroom, again in Times of India's. And the third component is, how do we assess our students? Even new education policy says we need to transform the culture of assessment. Assessment is very important because assessment drives learning. The way you will assess your students will start learning in that way. So it can be a good way to enhance the quality of education in the country. Our examination system is presently rote-based, mainly about textbook content and testing facts, definitions, and procedures described in the textbook. Anything from outside the textbook is branded out of the syllabus or even protested. Learning, as I mentioned earlier, is a 6-level hierarchy. Cognitive learning, mental level learning. Learning should take you from lower order thinking skill to higher order thinking skills. These are the 6 learning outcomes out of an education system at cognitive level. But are we testing all these outcomes? No. That's a serious problem. Therefore, assessment process needs to be made more scientific to encourage multiple skills of the students. Any topic you take, I'm coming back to this again, any topic you take, you should test each one of these learning outcomes. Only then, it will be a real test of learning. We need to have questions in examination which focus on discouraging rote learning, focus on conceptual clarity, thinking, innovation, and creativity, real life situations, unfamiliar situations, and we should try to enhance problem solving and analytical abilities of our students. Now, for example, CUET, Common University Entrance Test, has started all over the country. And it is an MCQ based. But please remember, MCQs have certain limitations. With MCQs, it's not possible to measure the ability to apply knowledge to complex problem or solve problem. You can't do that. No opportunity for students to demonstrate the depth of their knowledge. It's not possible to assess using MCQs. And no opportunity to showcase their creative, logical, and analytical skills. And worst, no test of effective writing or oral skills. Where do you test the writing skills? So these are some of the problems. Another challenge is we need to embrace technology and become tech savvy. It's difficult to imagine education without technology in the 21st century. Look at this. What happens in 1 internet minute? As you can see, 16 million text messages are sent in 1 minute. YouTube, 4.1 million videos are viewed in 1 minute. And then 900,000 logins on Facebook. Just see. And the technology is growing. Japan is already going to come out with an internet which will be closer to about 100,000 times faster than the current speed of the internet. So things are changing very, very fast. But please remember, technology should be used strategically to benefit the students. Because my feeling is that the excessive use of technology by the students has impacted adversely the generation of original ideas and hence creativity. It's coming in the way of creativity. And ICT has changed the entire higher education scenario. And all this happened during the last 2-3 years, Corona times. This is the impact of ICT in higher education. Teaching learning has changed. E-learning and MOOCs have come. PowerPoint presentation, videos and audios, all those have come. Experimental work is now being done using virtual labs. Revision of syllabi is possible quickly through ICT. In research, literature survey is possible using electronic databases. Assessment, online examinations are becoming very, very popular. Even the professional development of the teachers is now taking place online through using SWAYAM platform. And then ICT empowered pedagogies have come. New methods of teaching have come. Blended learning, flipped classroom, all the way ICT is involved. So you can see how technology has changed the entire higher education scenario. And then virtual universities are going to come now. And another challenge is the new roles of teachers. You remember I started with the traditional roles of the teachers, but the roles of the teachers are now going to change significantly in the 21st century. teachers will have to become tech-savvy teachers in ICT skills. This is a must. Tomorrow, if students are enrolled in e-learning or MOOCs, and if they have some queries, who will answer the question? It is the teacher. So they must know how to manage a virtual classroom or a discussion forum. Then teachers should also need to engage students by learner-centric pedagogies. The role of the teacher will be not merely knowledge providers. They will be like coach or mentors, facilitators. Then teachers should also be proficient in the development of e-content and MOOCs. After all, who writes MOOCs? You know, our center, GAD TLC, has written almost 50 MOOCs, the maximum in the country by any institution. And we had hundreds and hundreds of teachers involved. But everybody can't write. They might have, you know, many teachers are teaching a paper for many years. But when you ask them to write a MOOC, it becomes very difficult because they lack writing skills. Because, you know, you should have the ability to present your ideas in a very systematic and logical manner, very slowly, come down to the level of the weakest student and take them along. So these are going to be the new roles of the teachers. And believe you me, we need a transformation of teachers. A change of mindset is required. Still, many teachers think what I know is enough. I think that must change to I must learn more. Then teachers need to be interdisciplinary in their thinking. Upskilling and learning other subjects is also required. Not only for yourself, but for the sake of future generations of students. Otherwise, you are not going to do justice to your teaching. The regular professional development is the need of the hour. That's what I would put it. Because, you know, professional development is a journey and not a destination. You know, this is what I think what should be in the teaching profession. Best minds should come to the teaching profession. You have a responsibility to build the future of the country. And even teacher education should be there, because generally at the time of recruitment, we look at PhD and NET and all that. But all these test domain knowledge, but whether the teacher can deliver in the class. So teacher education, a short course is required. Profession has to be made more attractive, good promotional avenues. Make it difficult to enter, but those who enter, give them good avenues. There should be awards and fellowships for excellence in teaching. Generally, all the awards are for excellence in research. Conceptual clarity, skills, practical training is required. Regular professional development is required. Just one refresher or one orientation course, that's not going to be enough. The way education scenario is changing, I think it should become a regular feature. Every year you should attend 1 or 2 refresher courses, because knowledge is growing very, very fast. Just imagine 4 years back and how the things have changed. You know, what could have normally happened in 10 years has now happened in 1 year because of technology. And then another challenge is we need to empower teachers for education 4.0. You know, India is soon going to enter an era of education 4.0, which is going to be a total technology mediated education. The world is presently witnessing 4th industrial revolution. 3 are already over. And this 4th is based on artificial intelligence and other disruptive technologies. So education 4.0 is aligned with the needs of industrial revolution 4. What type of workforce will be required for industrial revolution 4 that must come out of the education system, which we call as education 4.0. And these are now going to be the technologies of the future. Artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual reality, Internet of Things, augmented reality, machine learning, gamification, etc. And one more thing is going to happen very soon. very soon education is slowly shifting towards personalized learning. Why personalized learning? Because every learner is unique. So you customize learning for every learner's needs, strengths, weaknesses, interests, etc. Every learner has different needs, different comprehension rate, different learning capacity, different method of gathering information. And how you come to know the strengths and interests and all that, that is possible using artificial intelligence in learning analytics. And one thing more, I'm already writing an article for Times of India. Personalized learning and integrated curriculum are going to be the future of education in the 21st century. So you have to be ready for that. Gamification is going to come. Already it has come to a great extent. Gamification means students will be, again, it is engaging the students. Students will be more engaged with the learning process if learning is based on gaming concept. What are the gaming concepts? Competition, incentives, and goal attainment. So there are many e-learning games which are now coming, video games. Students enjoy, they are engaged, but in the process they learn. This was my article in Times of India about how Education 4.0 will work for coming generations. And please remember, there must be an apprehension in your mind that whether technology will replace teachers. Technology will never replace great teachers. But technology in the hands of great teachers can be highly transformational. So you should become tech savvy as well as be a great teacher. Unfortunately, many young colleagues are in the process of becoming tech savvy. They are losing touch with their own subject. That is wrong. You are a teacher first and then tech savvy. This was my article in Times of India. Technology won't replace teachers. So education in future is going to be an amalgamation of the transformations driven by Education 4.0, National Education Policy 2020, present pandemic, emerging student needs, and new technologies. Now, coming to the last part of this talk, I will share with you some life-changing tips. These are based on my personal experience for building a proactive personality. I told you earlier this. You need to have knowledge, skills, and personality. So what are the tips for personality? I will talk. Personality means a set of traits and behaviors that characterize an individual. Personality doesn't mean your looks only. No. We people are so much obsessed with our working that we have forgotten the art of living. The art of living means capability to draw pleasure from life and to succeed in the greatest test called life. We should live each day. Unfortunately, that is not happening. We are always tense, not happy at all, stressed. That is why, this is the World Happiness Report. And in this report, India ranks 136th in the 2022 report. Just see, people are not happy. They don't know what is the art of living. Please remember, all the art of living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding on. कुछ चीजों को छोड़ते जाओ और कुछ चीजों को होल्ड करो. उसी में ही जीने की कला है. You do not find the happy life, you make it. So keep it in mind. Otherwise, you may be 30, 40, 50, 60 years or whatsoever your age is, all those years have gone, but still you can change yourself. One point is be proactive in life. If you are proactive, you focus on preparing. If you are reactive, you focus on repairing. So you be proactive. Proactive people don't wait for the ship to come in, they swim out to it. That is the quality of the proactive people. Then decide your priorities in life. Sit down and note down the priorities in life, and then try to accomplish them using the principle of time management. This is the most important tip: manage your time. Maximize your performance in the shortest possible time. Please remember, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Time management is ultimately life management. Look at this quote. बंधी हैं हाथ पर सबके घड़ियां, मगर पकड़ में किसी के एक लम्हा भी नहीं. And look at this, how time has changed these people. Just watch this.
समय की धारा में, समय की धारा में उम्र बह जानी है, जो घड़ी जी लेंगे, वो जो घड़ी जी लेंगे, वही रह जानी है.
Just see, these people were big people, mass following, but how time changes. Every day is once in a lifetime. Keep that thing in mind. Another, my advice to you is live in the moment. The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. So live in that. Life becomes more meaningful when you realize the simple fact that you will never get the same moment twice. It will never happen. So keep it in mind. Live in the moment. You know, when we were young students, this song was very popular. At that time, we did not realize, but now I feel. One more thing which I want you to have is self-belief. You know, look at this quote. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch but in her own wings. So if you want to be successful in life, always believe in yourself. Self-belief ultimately gives you, what is called self-confidence. To succeed in life, you must first believe that you can. That's the meaning which I want to say. Any line you may be, excellence should be the key word. A penguin can never be a giraffe, so try to be the best penguin you can be. Another is self-discipline. Self-discipline basically means the mastery over your thoughts. If you can control what you think, you can control what you do. There is nothing in this world that can trouble you more than your own thoughts. So please try to have self-control. Cages are not made of iron, they are made of thoughts. Now, there is a report that an average person thinks 70,000 thoughts a day. Every time thinking, sometimes thinking. So, if you can learn self-control, you can master anything. Try to do this. It may be difficult, but you can accomplish it. Start practicing self-control. Then work hard sensibly. Many people are very hard working, but without direction. Please remember, direction is more important than speed. So choose your direction very carefully, because time will not come again. and then come out of your comfort zone. Many of us are not able to make mark in life because we are living in a comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. It's only after you have stepped out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. And one more thing, overcome the fear of failure. There is a quote, जब तक तुम डरते रहोगे, तुम्हारी जिंदगी के फैसले कोई और लेता रहेगा. Overcome the fear of failure. Failures can be the pillars of success depending upon how you take them. Your attitude towards failure determines your altitude after failure. So have the right attitude. This, I'm telling you, this can change your life. Start practicing it even from today itself. You will be an altogether different person. And then stop worrying and start living. Worry is a misuse of your imagination. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. And believe you me, one day you will look back and realize that you worried too much about things that don't really matter. But by that time would have gone. What can you do then? You have to be way ahead. And then one more quality which I always believe is very important in interpersonal relationship is having empathy. It's one of the most important interpersonal skills. It helps to connect with another person. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. That means you put yourself into another's shoes. This empathy you should develop. This can be very, very important quality you can have. Watch this.
I recently came across this image and story and had to share it with you. The man in this picture doesn't know that there is a snake underneath. The woman doesn't know that there is a stone crushing the man. The woman thinks, I am going to fall and I can't climb because the snake is going to bite me. Why can't he use a little more strength and pull me up? The man thinks, I am in so much pain, yet I'm still pulling you as much as I can. Why doesn't he try and climb a little harder? The moral is, you can never see the pressure the other person is under, and the other person can't see the pain you're in. This is life, whether it's with work, family, feelings, or friends. We should try to understand each other a little more. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes. Learn to think differently. Be more open to other perspectives and opinions. A little kindness and patience goes a long way. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle. Some you will never hear about. You may wish other people would be more understanding and compassionate and helpful to you. So be all those things for other people. Lori Deschênes once gave some priceless advice. She said, practice the pause. Pause before assuming. Pause before accusing. And pause whenever you're about to react harshly. You might avoid saying things you'll later regret. Be kind to each other.
So I think it's a great message for all of you. When you see yourself in others, it's impossible to hurt anyone else. So that's basically what it means. And keep one thing always in mind, what do we live for if it is not to make life less difficult for each other? Just keep this thing in mind, make life less difficult for the other person. That's what you can do. And then, you should learn to walk away. Walking is the best exercise, no doubt. But walk away from the arguments that lead you to nowhere but anger. Walk away from people who deliberately put you down. Walk away from any thought that reduces your worth. Walk away from the failures and fears that stifle your dreams. The more you walk away from things that poison your soul, the happier your life will be. Do it. And then, you should learn to say no and choose your words carefully. Learn the art of saying no also in life. Don't lie, don't make excuses, don't over-explain yourself, just simply decline. You can be a good person with a kind heart and still say no. You don't have to be only a bad person for saying no. No. And basic rule, which I also learned quite late. We also learn in the process. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer is yes, only then you speak. People will then start taking you very seriously. This will change your perception and other person's perception about you. No doubt words are free, but it's how you use them that may cost you. Control anger. Anger is a normal emotion, everybody gets, but never say mean words out of anger. Because your anger will pass, but your mean words can scare a person for life. So please use kind words or be silent. This is a golden rule. Never reply when you are angry. Never make a promise when you are happy. And never make a decision when you are sad. This you can practice in your social life, in your family life also. Please remember one thing, beneath every anger, there always lies some fear. And no to arrogance. Sometimes, a small success may go into your head. That should not happen. There is a difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence comes from self-belief, about which I talked earlier. Arrogance comes from ego. Never become arrogant. There is a quote, कभी किसी चीज का घमंड आ जाए तो शमशान का एक चक्कर लगा आना, तुमसे बेहतरीन लोग वहां राख बने पड़े. Remember that you are dust and to dust you shall return. Keep this reality of life always in mind. Your life will change. One day you will wake up and there won't be any time to do the things you have always wanted to do. Do it now. Message is, don't procrastinate things in life. You don't know how much time you are left with. And one more thing in all this, have a high opinion of yourself. Yes. Never underestimate yourself. Having a low opinion of yourself is not modesty, it is self-destruction. Holding your uniqueness in high regard is not egotism. It's a necessary precondition to happiness and success. So always have a high opinion of yourself. And a few things more. When I was preparing this, I noted down what are the habits of the most successful people all over the world. Common habits. These are strategic planning and deliverance, laser sharp focus and determination, risk-taking ability, courage, health and fitness. That is also very important. And then, never give up attitude, hard work and all that, and consistency. Please remember, success is a product of daily habits, not of random activities. You have to take care of your body also, because it is the only place where you have to ultimately live. Your intelligence and your skills can only function at the peak of their capacity when your body is healthy and strong. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, the biggest competition of yours is you only. You have to win over yourself. You should become the master of your mind and not the puppet of your mind. You don't have the problem, you are the problem. स्वर्ग भी तू है, नर्क भी तू है, इन दोनों का फर्क भी तू है। जिंदगी छोटी नहीं होती है, लोग जीना ही देरी से शुरू करते हैं। जब तक रास्ते समझ में आते हैं तब तक लौटने का वक्त हो जाता है। So this is a warning for you, everybody. You know, it's for everybody. I would say it's never too late to be what you might have been. This is the life mantra which I learned. Live every second of your life. Stop worrying about future, because ultimate future for all of us is death. So stop worrying and start living. Forgive people and forget. Try to stay positive. One day you will just be a memory for some people. Do your best to be a good one. Challenges keep us fresh. I have given you so many challenges today. You know, there is a famous quote: a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. Similarly, humans are not designed to be happy in status quo. So please continue to remain dissatisfied with yourself so that you can get better and better. Challenges are what keep us fresh. This is the principle you should have in your life. Don't take every challenge as a problem. Take every problem as a challenge. And one more thing, a message for all of you before I conclude. You know, there is a book I read, Die Empty, written by Todd Henry. Die Empty. You know, once Todd Henry was asked as to from where did you get the idea of writing this book? He said that he was attending a business meeting where the director asked the audience, where is the richest land in the world? One said oil-rich Gulf states, other said diamond mines in Africa. Then the director said, no, it is the cemetery, it is the burial ground, which is the richest land in the world, because millions of people have died and are departed, and they carried with them many invaluable ideas that could never come to light. Those ideas are buried there, lying buried there. So that is the richest land. From here he got the idea and wrote this book, Die Empty. So the message is live full, die empty. Don't die old, die empty. That's the goal of life. Go to the cemetery and disappoint the graveyard that he or she has come empty. And please remember, no one has ever become poor by giving. And this is more applicable to the teaching profession. Last slide, one more. You know, I just very recently added, some people think our future is already destined. So for them, this is a 2-minute video, just watch it.
So his question is, how does luck or destiny, what role does it play in victory or success, right? Is it all hard work? Is it all destiny? What is it? Now, in my humble opinion, destiny is the situations that come to you, which are beyond your control. For example, you didn't choose your parents. Did any of you choose your parents? You were destined. That was destiny. You were born. ऐसा नहीं बोले ये मेरी बाप, ये मेरे माँ, मैं अवतार दूंगा इनसे. Have you ever thought like that? Never. Did you ever choose your looks? ऐसा नाक होगा. You choose? No one looks as good as your Facebook profile picture, and no one looks as ugly as their Aadhaar card picture. No one. No one looks like that. So situations are destiny. You didn't choose them. They came to you. If someone comes and insults me, I didn't choose it. It came to me. That situation is destined. But my response to the situation is my choice. Response is not destiny. What I choose is my choice. And when I choose it, that decides my future destiny. This is why they say man is the maker of his destiny, not situations. Situations will remain what they are, but how you respond to those situations is completely and entirely your choice. So now, for example, some of you may have just got admission in a mediocre, simple college. Why? You couldn't crack it to go to IIT Mumbai. You couldn't crack it to any of those places. No issues, right? It's not that only IITians succeed, is it? You have that situation which is this time. Now you have a choice to work hard, to cultivate that attitude. That attitude is not destiny. That attitude is a choice. And when you choose that attitude, hopefully victory will come to you right away. Even if it doesn't come to you right away, you have sown the seed that will pay back. The seed that is sown will certainly fructify. Now, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, or later. This is why persistence, sticking it out, is so much essential. Thank you very much, sir.
So that's all what I wanted to say. And
सुनो गजर क्या गाए समय गुजरता जाए और दिन वाले भोर भोले भाले सोना ना होना ना सुनो गजर क्या गाए समय गुजरता जाए
जीवन कहीं भी ठहरता नहीं है जीवन कहीं भी ठहरता नहीं है आँधी से तूफान से डरता नहीं है तू न चलेगा तो चलते भी राहें तू न चलेगा तो चलते भी राहें मंजिल को तरसेंगी तेरी निगाहें तुझको चलना होगा तुझको चलना होगा तुझको चलना होगा तुझको चलना होगा
thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. I think I've taken a little more time, but I just wanted to convey what I had in my mind. So your feedback is welcome. My email ID is here, my cell number, WhatsApp number is here. Please remain in touch and all the best for this faculty development program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I speak on behalf of everybody who has been attending this session since past 1.5 hours. It's been such a pleasure. And it's been a breath of fresh air to hear something like this, because in our daily lives, we've been such busy with our routines and schedules that we forget to live lives. We forget that what is more important. And thank you so much for making all of us aware that actually you yourself is the most important person in your life. Thank you so much. It's been a valuable session and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Before we wind up the session, I'll request everybody to kindly switch on the videos so that we can have a group photograph. And also, if anybody has any questions in their mind, they can raise up their hand so that we can unmute them. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I believe there are a few questions. Sir, if you allow, we can take them.
We can talk, yes. They can comment, they can say anything, or if time is not there, they can always write to me. So many people write to me, they are in touch with me. So anyway, it's welcome. Please go ahead.
Okay. Gauri ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I was.
Please
sir,
introduce yourself.
Can you hear me, sir?
Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Mrs. Gauri Pai. Actually, I have done my MCom, LLB, and LLM, and currently I'm assistant professor in a college in Mumbai, and I teach law in the Arts, Science, and Commerce College. So, sir, actually, I was really glad, and I was I got this opportunity to listen to you, and it was fabulous. Okay, and so I have actually two things. They are not the questions as such, but you had mentioned about one particular thing where you said that the students nowadays don't think, they don't get time to think. It was related to one of your point relating to research work, because the students are not involved in research, and the teachers don't tell them to do certain research thing, which we should do actually. So it's regarding that. So the question which has come to my mind is like, when we say that the students don't think, or they don't have that